Hello gardening friends, I'm Caitlin Miller and I'm from Miller Flowers here in Greenville, Ohio. We are a greenhouse garden center and florist. And today for my 5 minutes or less, I hope you have your coffee or tea or hot apple cider in hand because we are going to talk about philodendrons. So philodendrons are some of my favorite houseplants, probably for their huge leaves, their colorful leaves, and all the different types of philodendrons that there are. I just love them, and they are so easy and low maintenance care. What could be better in a house plant than a low maintenance plant? So first things first, this huge plant that's right beside me, this monster of a plant is called the Rojo philodendron. Such a gorgeous plant as well, and the leaves are so large. This would make a great floor plant. Another favorite of mine, the BIRKEN philodendron. So the BIRKEN philodendron, with its variegated leaves, its white and green leaves, makes the perfect plant for your neutral colored walls inside your home, bringing in that pop of green, and it is such a gorgeous plant. Next up is the philodendron MOONLIGHT. This next one is also another favorite of mine. They're all my favorites, but this one is so gorgeous for its lime green leaves. I love the color, and this offers such a great show-stopping foliage color that it's the perfect plant for your home. So the next up is Philodendron Brazil. So Philodendron Brazil is a trailing houseplant. It is a vine. It can grow up to 30 feet long. That is a long vine. And it's the perfect houseplant, again, to trail over like as a basket, going over the side of a macrame or a hanging basket in your window. Philodendron Brazil is similar to pothos, and it is easy care and low maintenance as well. Next up is Macaulay's Finale. This is also another gorgeous philodendron houseplant with its beautiful leaf, orange and red leaf color. One of my favorites, again, another favorite. This is a perfect philodendron for that fall color, also to bring in some different color foliage into your houseplant collection. Next up is split leaf philodendron, also related to the Swiss cheese philodendron, which is right behind me on this wall right here. So, funny story about the Swiss cheese philodendron. So when we first got them in, my dad had taken one look at the Swiss cheese philodendron. He said, "What kind of bug got a hold of these plants?" No bug. That is how they were made. And so these are some of our favorites as well because they're so unique. So the next one, peeking over the top of this one, is so large. This one is Imperial Red. So Imperial Red is also another gorgeous philodendron as it gets more of a reddish tint to its leaves. Also back here to my left, or to your right, this is MONSTERA. MONSTERA is from the same family as philodendrons, even though it's not considered a philodendron. So if that gets kind of confusing, it's confusing to me, but that's what it says. So I just had to include it because it's such a gorgeous plant. So the difference between the MONSTERA and the philodendrons, the MONSTERAs produce fruit, while the philodendrons do not produce fruit. I didn't know that either, but now we all know that. So that's pretty cool. Knowing where your houseplants originated is always key to the success of growing houseplants. So, philodendrons originated from South America, tropical rainforests. These tropical rainforests, well, all tropical rainforests are wet and somewhat humid, and rain is always falling there. And during these periods of rain and humidity, that's where these plants thrive the best. Does that make you think of your home here in Ohio? Not really for our home. Our home is fairly dry, especially during the winter when we are running our stove. And so when we run our stove, things tend to dry out a little bit more. And so here's a couple ways of keeping your plants thriving inside your house. Again, making a note that all philodendrons are tropical in our area, meaning they will not come back if you leave them outside over the winter. With philodendrons, you want to water every 1 to every 2 weeks. So water your philodendrons and then let the soil dry out between waterings. So if you have a container, make sure that the container that your philodendron goes in has a drainage hole in the bottom of the container so that the water can run out of your container. And so you want to make sure again to let your container dry out between waterings. Philodendrons grow the best if they are placed in an area beside a bright window, getting plenty of bright sunlight, not in the direct hot sun or it will scorch the leaves, but off to the side of a bright window. To where philodendrons originated from, which would be in the rainforest where it is very humid, you want to make sure that you provide plenty of humidity for your philodendrons. So you can either add a humidifier beside your houseplants. You can also spray it with a spray bottle periodically, or when you take a hot shower, take your houseplants into the bathroom with you and let them sit there and absorb all that wonderful humidity coming out of that hot shower. So philodendrons are mildly toxic to animals and to small children. So make a note of that when you go to grab some philodendrons. If you have children or animals that are prone to eating your leafy green plants, this might be a plant that you might want to stay away from. Philodendrons are an excellent long-term house plant inside your house. Like this big plant right here, it makes the perfect plant as a floor plant, or you can also do a trailing cascading plant with the Brazilian with the Brazilian philodendrons. Or you can do tabletop plants with the BIRKEN, or with the Macaulay's finale, or with the moonlight, I'm sorry. Whatever it is, there's so many different options that you can do with philodendrons inside your house. They make the perfect house plant inside your home, and we have so many different options to choose from. So I hope this segment on philodendrons and its care has been helpful to you. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll hopefully answer those questions for you. Or always, you're welcome to stop out and see us. We would love to see you. And again, I'm Caitlin Miller, and I'm from Miller Flowers here in Greenville, Ohio. And thank you for watching my 5 minutes or less. It has been a pleasure.